Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the video, and today we're going to be doing a review of the Foxeer Box. So this is the box that the box comes in. So hopefully on the back here you can see just some of these stats. So it looks like it does 4K 30 and Supervision, which is sort of their rendition of the GoPro Super View, 2.5K 60, 1080 120 in Supervision, but I'm really most interested in the 2.7K 30 Supervision and 1080 60 Supervision, as that's what yields the best results for me on my GoPro. So let's just open this guy up and take a look at what's inside. So I've already opened this, so a lot of stuff I just sort of threw it back in here. But we have a little mount for it, similar to the GoPro style mount that just clips on here. Here is the actual camera. Get a look at it up close. You can see we have the glass up front. Got a little LED here. And we do have, I believe these are little star head. I'm not sure if they're Torx or not. But it does give you a tool to remove this if you do break the glass. On the side we have our little door box on the back. And then here are our buttons, just two separate buttons. No screen, which is kind of disappointing. I do definitely like the LCD screen of the GoPro. And you also get a box full of stuff. Here we have a little cable. This would be for powering the camera off of USB, since this does use a USB mini, not micro, to charge. So if you want to hook that up to your quad somehow. And we got another little sticky mount for it to slide on there. Got a USB cable, once again the mini, not the micro. And then we have the little screwdriver with that special little star head tip that will go in and remove the screws from the front of this. So I've actually had this camera for a little bit now, but I've had some problems because I've tried to download the iOS Foxeer app to change the settings and such, because there's no way to change it directly here. You have to connect it through Wi-Fi to change, which is kind of annoying, but the app won't work for me. It loads and then it just freezes, like nothing responds. So I'm actually going to have to try and download it on Android to see if that works. So once I get the settings all put, we'll go out and get some test footage for it. So here's the Foxeer Box in 1080p 60 FPS Supervision, so I'm just going to let it play raw here so you can get an idea of how it looks and sounds without any color correction or post-editing enhancements. Alright, so hopefully that just gives you a look at what it's like, and the footage is actually quite good. Hopefully you can notice that it is sort of hyperactive in the sharpening. Everything is really sharp. The colors overall are pretty cool. It's got a very cold temperature to it, and if you notice, you can see the sky is very blown out. But it's not that bad. It just sort of doesn't do that well in getting the ground and the sky at the same time. It's sort of like a half cloudy day right now. But this was just all stock colors, so in a second here I will add some color correction. So that's what I think looks a little bit better and more comparable to the GoPro. Basically just a little bit more saturation, a little bit more contrast, and a decent bit of bump on the temperature overall to give it a warmer image. Now obviously, you know, it depends on what you like, but I think this looks better to me overall. And hopefully you can tell that the just the smoothness of everything, it doesn't have that much motion blur, probably due to the over sharpening, but it actually looks pretty good. I'm gonna say, especially for a $150 camera, it's very, very respectable. Alright, so we're back after testing the camera out there, so let me do a quick comparison with the GoPro Session 5, which is obviously the camera that this is aimed to contend with. So one of the nice features on the GoPro that the box doesn't have is the little screen. You can see here once it powers up, you can change all these settings, see what you're in, see how much file size you have left, and your battery, but obviously there's no such thing on the box here, so that's kind of annoying, so you have to make all your changes through the app. As for the little door that opens up, it's kind of hard to get open, and then it sort of just swings open with a little rubber peg, which is not so good, and it's not waterproof. The GoPro has a sealed latch that you pull back, and then this is sealed, so I like this much better. As well as this uses a USB-C connection, and this uses a USB mini, which is not very common. A lot of them use the micro, but it's not a huge deal, and they both mount the SD card at an angle. One other kind of weird thing is if you look, you'd think you'd put the buttons on top when you're recording. This will be the front here, but it's actually not. You have to line up the word Foxeer on the back as the top. The buttons go on the side, so make sure you have that the right way, otherwise your footage will be on the side. And then of course one big downside is the box is a decent bit larger than the GoPro here, so this will not be able to fit into any sort of TPU style mounts. However, luckily, if you do have a frame where it just sort of sits on there, it's not going to make any difference. So the GoPro, in terms of weight, comes in at 73 grams, and the box comes in at 73 grams, so pretty much the same exact weight, so that's nice there. So just to finish up on overall picture quality, it definitely does give a cooler image. The temperature of it's pretty cool compared to the GoPro, and it definitely is sort of hyper sharpened. It's very sharp. And the microphone on it is not that bad, but honestly, when comparing it to other cameras like the Xiaomi Yi, the SJ cams, I've had a few of those, and the Runcam 3, this is probably the best GoPro alternative that I've seen yet, and the one I'd be most happy living with if I didn't have a GoPro. So I used the 1080p 60 Supervision, which is what I'm most interested in. I use 1080p 60 Super View on the GoPro, and it looks nice and smooth. It's got a nice large field of view, and with just a little bit of post touch-up, I'm sure you can make it look even better, but in terms of the raw stock image, it's really nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the flat shooting like the GoPro has. I shoot in flat color on the GoPro, so I can add colors in post. It just helps get you more detail. But it's not a huge deal, especially if you're buying this camera. You really don't want to be doing a ton of after-post editing. So yeah, that's going to bring us to the end of my review of the Foxeer Box. You know, definitely not going to replace my GoPro, but it's honestly not bad. It's a lot better than I was expecting. If for $150, if you can't afford the GoPro, the Session 5 is $300, and then if you buy the Best Buy warranty replacement plan that's popular, that's another $40. So $340 versus $150, it's half the price. I definitely think it's a good alternative. But if you can, and if you're really invested into getting good footage and sort of doing more cinematic or racing flying where you really want that the best footage, I think it is a good investment to get a GoPro, the Session 5 here. But if you're just sort of want to do more general flying or just upload some videos and try it out and see how it goes, I definitely do think this is a good option, and I would recommend this one over any SJ Cam or the Runcam 3. So yeah, there will be a link down below if you're interested. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.